Got it.
And it seems like we are live, ladies and gentlemen, back again, episode 10. Whoa, I'm a poet. Did not know it. Yes.
10.
We
Hello?
got yes. Mute yourself, Bobby, unless you're talking to us. If you're talking to somebody else. Oh, okay.
Talking to you, Mr. Petrowski used to say that.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that guy, Mr. Pet Roast guy.
Yeah.
We went to school together, Bobby and I, grade school, and his name was Mr. Petrowski. He was the gayest man you've ever seen in your life, dude. It was the coolest thing to see as a kid, and he would just like sit on this is the best story. He's sitting, I forget what he was actually teaching. He might have been teaching history or some shit, but he's sitting on his stool and he's rocking back and forth, and he's got his legs crossed like real femininely. And he rocked back so far that he fucking fell off his chair and busted his ass. And the whole class busted out laughing, and like he got up and I've never seen a gay with this feminine dude could be real scary if he needs to be.
Oh, shit.
And needless to say, we didn't laugh at Mr. Petrowski again.
Oh, we had a gym teacher named Mr. Plate who would smoke inside the fucking in his office inside the locker room all day long.
Oh God!
This is back in the 80s, of course.
Yeah, back when America was America, man.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, you didn't want to go to Mr. Plate's office because it was like, oh my God, it was gross.
Dude, back in the day, America
But he was a hard ass.
Oh yeah. I mean, teachers would hit kids and shit, but like back in the day, people were drinking and driving and fucking smoking cigarettes indoors. Like this was fucking the land of the free, home of the brave, baby.
Smoking on planes, everything.
Now you can't talk about shots and stuff.
Right. Our freedom of speech is gone, man. We're communist fucking Russian, dude.
We're communist Russian, and we're like back in like Nazi Germany with all the Jew haters out there now. Exactly. It's freaking insane, dude.
Dude, why?
And it's all coming from the left, which is so ironic. The tolerant left hates Jews. Like, what happened? It's freaking insane.
Fuck? It's crazy, dude. Like, I want to know how this is just acceptable all of a sudden. Like,
well, because it's on the left, that's why it's acceptable. Everyone's like, oh, okay, well, it must be justified because it's like the oppressed and the oppressor, or they've gone with that fucking line of horse shit. And, you know, it's just, it's the soft underbelly of racism on the left. It's coming out. Nuts.
I hope people are waking up and realizing that because it's getting fucked up, dude. I mean,
you got like students in colleges like afraid for their lives and hiding in libraries and shit, like Jewish students. Like it's at a level that I've never seen in my lifetime.
Right, like ramping up to World War II level fucking propaganda and shit.
Yeah. And it's all coming from leftist students and fucking leftist ideology. It's wild, man. It's wild to watch.
Well, if this was Russia's plan from the 80s, like that one fucking KGB agent said, my God, great.
Yeah, they've done a brilliant job. Good job, Russia.
Yeah,
KGB.
All propaganda. Propaganda machine.
Propaganda machine, the USA, baby. It's just crazy. I was talking to Bobby last night about how just deep state our fucking CIA is and how they infiltrated Hollywood and put all their propaganda in there and just really, I mean,
they do it all day long now too. Operation Mockingbird. Check that shit out.
Mockingbird. They're fucking doing Hunger Game references now.
Well, it's before Hunger Games, but yeah, that's what it was called. Operation Mockingbird was infiltrate all the news organizations in Hollywood and basically use them as propaganda wings for the CIA, U.S. government.
MK Ultra, yep.
MK Ultra. That's remote viewing stuff. That's pretty fucking wild too. But
dude, supposedly they tripped Manson out and had him all like taught him how to use acid and like really get his following, and like that's why he would be in and out of jail, like, you know, before the murders and shit happened. But they basically supposedly trained and facilitated Manson.
Oh yeah, they do all kinds of fucking crazy shit.
It's just crazy though. Yeah, I mean, heroin used to be sold on the market by Bayer Aspirin. Bayer used to make heroin way back in the day. I think this was like the 1910s or something, and then heroin was just sold on the shelf by Bayer. And had a big opium epidemic, and you know, the U.S. put a kibosh to that. But how crazy is that?
Well, then Bear made all the poison to kill the Jews in World War II.
Yeah, yeah. Bobby, you got to mute yourself. I'm getting background noise over here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'm sure it sounds like all the left students like Bear now.
Wait, like what?
Like Bear.
Bear.
The company, because it killed all made the poison to kill all the Jews in World War II. They're all happy with that.
Well, dude, this world is just fucked up. When Johnson & Johnson baby powder is like fucking being produced with asbestos, and like, you know, you think it's a safe ass product for your baby, like that's crazy, man.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And what if they answered for that, dude? Like, okay, because talc is apparently mined like near asbestos, and it's hard to separate the two, but they knew that forever and were just letting us sprinkle this shit on our kids.
Oh, in most cases, those companies know that shit. They're just waiting to get caught, and then they pay the fine or they pay off the FDA. You know what? It's all just a big bunch of money laundering or shit happening.
I need to get into this, man. Like, I could be shady and fucking criminal like this.
Well, first you got to be a major, huge company.
Well, I mean, they had to have started somewhere, man.
Because if you started a baby powder line in your little house,
right,
the FDA would come in and fucking raid you. And if you had anything in there that was like not, you know, any kind of ingredients that were harmful to people, you would be busted and shut down. See it.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Funny how that works. God damn it. The little man always gets screwed again. Dude, Elon Musk is cool as shit, dude. I mean, too bad he can't run for president someday because he's South African. But if I was that dude, I would go over to South Africa and become president of that fucking place. And then
that's a fucking problem too right now.
What, South Africa?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know much about what's going on, but I know there's just a ton of crime over there. But what are you talking about? Something specifically?
Oh, there's a ton of crime, but they're also like, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say justifiably so, but they're completely like anti-white now. They've taken over the government, and now they're forcing farmers out of their land, and they're doing all this kind of fucked up shit. Yeah.
I was gonna say, do they realize like half their population is white?
Well, they don't care. They're taking revenge for apartheid and shit. Which I mean, which is fucked up. I agree, but like now it's like they're gonna, you know, take revenge.
When do we learn from the past and our mistakes, man? Like, when does education catch up to fucking the reality of the times?
I don't know, man. It's pretty wild. They got to look at. No one wants to look at history to learn lessons.
Right. I mean, like right now. I mean, if I was planning on having a kid, I might fucking double check myself and be like, do I really want to bring a being into this crazy ass fucking world right now where you don't know what's up and what's down?
I was listening to Rogan, and he was talking about that. Oh no, it was Rogan and Elon on the last episode. Elon was just on. They were kind of talking about this sentiment. It's like there's always something fucked up happening in the world. So it's like for you to sit back and say, "Oh, I don't know if I want to bring kids into the world," and because Elon's whole thing is like we need more people because population is starting to crash worldwide. Western civilization, you know, Western countries, China, Russia, like all these countries. Their demographics are crashing, especially China.
Right.
But his thing is like we're not going to have too many people. We're going to have too few people in the coming years.
Yeah, I've heard him say that. It just, to me, it doesn't make sense. I mean, when I think of natural resources, I mean, less is more. But I mean, he's fucking way smarter than I am. He's a rocket scientist, for Christ's sakes. But I mean, I just don't see how, like, he's basically saying everybody go out and fuck and just reproduce. And that seems a little crazy.
He's saying it in relation to the fact that populations are crashing.
Well, don't forget.
And we're just not seeing it yet. We're just not seeing the harmful effects of it yet. You will start to see, you know, production go down. And people are going to the population is going to be older and older. So they're going to have to support those people with fewer and fewer young people to make the money to support those people. And you're just not seeing the hurtful effects of it yet.
Right.
In most cases.
Do you think Elon just fucking gaslighting us since he's going to be on Mars by 2030 and like fuck the U.S.?
I mean, yeah, he is. He could be like a super criminal. Who fucking knows? But
oh my god, that'd be great. Dude, he's brilliant, man. I mean, to change the shape of your rockets because like you like the shape from a movie, you like that's just baller.
Pointy is scarier.
Right.
The Dictator. So great.
Yeah, that's a great movie, man. Yo, Sasha Baron Cohen, that dude is fucking talented, dude.
Oh my god, he's so funny. His characters are great.
Yo, and like when he was doing the Ali G show, which was before any like of his movies, like he was like in Louisiana or something, fucking calling this redneck a gay dude, and the guy was straighter than fucking anything in gay people. And he's like, yo, dude, he's like, you call me gay again, and I will fucking snap your neck. He's like, dude, I am like, he was dead ass serious. I was like, yo, this guy's not a joke. He's about to.
I've never heard any stories if he's put it like too far and got beat up, but
yeah,
I believe he hasn't.
I can't either, man. I mean, I know further into his career there was security and stuff around, but in the beginning, some of the shit he was doing, like he had Hillary Clinton on the Ali G show. He's interviewing her as like a fucking, he's a white man pretending to be black. He's like, hey, my man. It was fucking legit.
Oh, he got a bunch of people on that show. He got Pat Buchanan. I think he got Ron Paul, a couple other people.
It just shows like they don't even fucking, oh, I'm just going on a show. My handler told me where to go.
Right. Yep. You pull the right strings, you can get someone on your show.
Right.
Bobby, let's get Hillary Clinton on here.
Oh my God. I would not want to even be in the same room as that evil. Like, I don't understand how people just don't fucking see evil in that bitch.
It's friggin' nuts. Didn't she just put out a statement like not too long ago, like calling Trump Hitler and like, saying that all his followers are evil and something along these lines. It's like, bitch, you fucking tried to rig. In fact, you did try to. Well, you rigged the election. You basically against an active candidate and then a sitting president. You set up a campaign to it was completely based on lies to take him out.
Right.
To discredit him. With Obama's blessing, by the way.
Yeah.
And it's all been proven, but like the mainstream media doesn't talk about because it's Trump. It's okay to hate him.
And I get it, man. Some of Trump's followers are fucking out there, but are they any there than this fucking left? Fucking, it's just the left is way more vocal than the right at some points. The right gets a little too rambunctious at some points. It's like nobody knows how to fucking behave anymore.
Both sides. Well, and that was, if you go back to that HEB guy, it's by design.
Right.
Split everybody down on politics and religion and race, skin color, like just divide everybody so that everyone's at each other's throats. And then what you get is the emergence of far sides of both parties. The fucking crazy fringes on both sides. They're on both sides.
Right.
And you have less in the middle where you can actually have a civilization that communicates and gets along.
Right. Which is probably what most of this United States population is the fucking middle. But the far left and the far right has such a loud voice that the middle is just like, we're too busy going about our fucking lives and fucking mixed up in that than to fucking be barking fucking at people on social media and shit. But, that's all you hear is these the people.
Yeah, the loudest voices, and they're usually from the crazies.
Exactly. Like nobody gets me mad on social media. I'm like, you're probably a bot anyway. So it's like, But it's
I think social media has been the bane of fucking humanity for a long time. Even though we're here on social media, but it's like it's bad.
Well, I didn't see it getting to this. Like, once they started making fucking TikTok stars and shit, that's when it's like it just shot to crazy. Once they realized you can make a living on it and get some fame, it just went bananas.
Well, then you have these concerted, efforts by countries such as China to subvert our democracy, and TikTok is a great example of that. That it is a full-on Chinese government instrument, and they make people popular on there for a reason, because more and more people get on there and watch it, and more people get on there trying to be popular. But they're all being, fed. All their information is going to China, going to the Chinese government. Anybody that's on TikTok, you are a fucking known asset to the Chinese, basically.
Right.
And not that the NSA is, not watching everything we do. But yeah, it's wild fucking times, man.
Oh,
There he is.
from space, Jimmy Lang, part 2. What up, kid? I don't hear you, my man. Do you have audio?
Muted.
You're muted. You got the Death Star in your background.
We can no hear you, Jimmy.
We can see you. We know here. I don't know what accent I just did. That's my something. That's
Hello.
my hello. Sometimes down by the mute button, there's
Technical
a little
difficulties.
yeah, there's like an up arrow, and you could click where your audio supply is coming from. Sometimes that helps. But in the meantime, maybe he's coming back in. I don't know. We've lost control of the show this early, Mr. Gracey.
I know, it's just, what happens here?
You need to break out your bongos and get in your skivvies and just play them on here. Yo, do you I mean, on the Unplugged you played a drum set, but there was a couple like K rock acoustic Christmases and stuff where it was like you were on bongos and it was just like Ed on a guitar doing like some cool ass songs like Top or something. You remember those?
Yeah, bongos or congos. Yeah, we did a whole. I mean, like for mental jewelry. See, we still can't hear him. What the hell's going on? Oh, Jimmy, we can't hear you. For mental jewelry, we did a whole lot of acoustic stuff. Like,
all right, is that better?
There it is. Perfect.
Sorry, I had to give him a Bluetooth headset. I just finished with a mission, as you can see.
Yes, I can see that. Yes,
and you destroyed it.
It hasn't been blown up yet.
You know,
it's on a timer.
You know why those Bluetooth headphones were not working? Because they're not by Apple. They're not by Apple. That's my excuse for everything. It doesn't work. You should get Apple's product.
Basically.
All right.
So Jimmy, welcome back, dude. Part 2 for Jimmy Lang. You're our first guest who had a part 2. Well-received episode last week. Of course, everybody loves the old Jimmy Lang.
Mm-hmm.
And I, believe it or not, I remember where we were kind of leaving off with a little, was it Neil Young and you and Ed Kowalczyk at a lunch?
Oh,
that's right.
Something like that.
This story.
All right. I guess I can start there. We can maybe work our way backwards or some things that I've forgotten about.
Okay, go wherever you want, Jimmy, because I just had a boner for that story, but I really don't care.
All right. So, okay, I guess we can start there. I think one of the side benefits of being friends with rock stars, I guess, is maybe getting a chance to meet famous people. I mean, I met a lot of famous people, famous to me, pretty friends to them, but
name drop.
So I remember back in the day when Ed was he was living in L.A. at the time, up in the Hollywood Hills where all the movie stars and famous people live. And I used to go to his house, and he had this really nice place. It's called Casa de Lila, up in the hills.
That was cool. I stayed there a couple times.
Right off of Gower Street.
I got a question for you guys.
One day, he had me come up there one time, and he wanted to build a website. It was called CasaDelila.com. It was the name of his house, actually. The house was called Casa de Lila. A really nice house. It's up in the hills. I think the drummer for one of the old drummers for Kiss.
It was Matt Sorum. Matt Sorum owned it.
Oh, was it Matt Sorum? Okay, somebody was living up there. So I remember I went up there to visit with him. And I bought like a computer with him, and I built like
audio's gone.
Oh,
maybe your Bluetooth speakers went on again.
I can hear him.
Oh, you can hear me?
You know, maybe the headset.
So Chad,
is this house you're talking about? Is this where Ed...
John, hold on a minute. I can hear Jimmy. You can't hear him?
No.
Oh, I can hear him fine.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Got you back now, Jimbo.
Oh, okay. So you can hear my audio?
Yeah, yes. I guess it was me, my bad.
Yeah, so he had me come up there. He wanted to build a website about something about bringing peace to the world. You know how it is. He wrote me and said, "It's the 17-year-old in me, Jimmy. I want to build a website." So I went up there. I brought a computer with me, and I like built a built a server for him at his house, and then we set up this website. And then I remember he had a bunch of Alex Gray paintings in his place.
Oh, sick.
He had a lot of
speaking of Alex Gray, sorry, Freudian slip. I remember, Chad, I think you and Ed went down to La Jolla on one of the years, and you played like a gig for Alex Gray at.
Yeah, we went to it was either his gallery or a gallery that he was showing.
Yeah, it was the La Jolla Museum of Arts or something.
Right. Yes.
So that was pretty cool. I mean, I'm not a super huge fan of his artwork, but I think they're kind of neat, to be honest. So. But yeah, Ed was a huge fan, and I remember he had the big paintings in his house. Wow, that's pretty crazy. So sometime during our meeting, I don't know, he got kind of hungry. He's like, "Hey, let's go get lunch." So we hop in his car, and he was driving I think he had a Mercedes, like an S500 at that time, really really sporty. It's all black. And I remember we got in a car and we're going down the hill in Hollywood, and okay, so crazy story. I'm not even making this up, but he turned on the radio, and like halfway down the hill from Hollywood, Lightning Crashes comes on the radio. And I was thinking to myself, okay, I wonder what he's going to do. He's either gonna change the station, because I mean, I don't want to hear my own songs, or I don't know, maybe he'll turn it up and start singing, or so I was waiting for him to. I was thinking, man, I'd probably change the station because he's probably tired of that, right? So no, he actually reached over, he turned up the volume, and he starts singing in the car with the song. And I was just like, okay, that's pretty crazy. And right when we got to the bottom of the hill, he was explaining to me like, hey, this is the street where we turn left to go down to Vine Street. And of course, that's from that's the lyrics from the songs. It's actually he was showing me, yeah. He used to come down here and I always be late. So this is where I wrote the song. This is from this lyrics. And it was kind of cool, like just hearing them talk about, okay, this is where that came from. And this is the exact place where it happened, was right here where we turned left to get down
Jimmy,
to Hollywood
does
Hills.
the siren to Vine Street get you every time? Every time it comes onto my car and I'm driving like, motherfucker. And then I'm like, oh, shit. It's such a real siren in the start of that.
Yeah. So that was pretty crazy. And he ended up going to like this super fancy place down in Hollywood. And so we go in. He parks cars. We go in, and we got this really cool table. I don't remember what kind of food it was, and I'll explain to you why I can't remember. Because about maybe 10 minutes after we had arrived and sat down, the big limo pops up from out of nowhere, and this huge entourage of people. It must have been like maybe like 10 people come out of the car. Some of them look like bodyguards. Some of them look like, just really dressed up, fancy people living in Hollywood at the time. And we see,
when you say bodyguard,
pop out of the car.
Body style, that type of bodyguard, or
yeah. Okay. So I swear, I was like, okay, here's the guy stepping out of the car. What is going on here? Why's all these people there? So Ed and I were watching, and this guy pops up, and he's got these huge, he's got the whole full-on sideburns going on. So totally recognizable. Oh, I could recognize those sideburns from a mile away. And so Neil Young comes into the restaurant. And they're looking around and couldn't find a table, but there was an empty table, like literally right next to us. So he comes over and he sits down at the table right next to us. And I was just like, no, this is kind of surreal. This can't really be happening. I mean, that's literally Neil Young, like 10 feet away from me. And I was looking over at Ed, and he was looking at me, and was like, is that who I think it is? And I was like, oh, yeah, shit, that's Neil Young. I mean, who else has sideburns like that? And like, we're just like, I don't even remember what we ordered or what. I was just like, fascinated. I was like, holy shit. And all I could think of was like, man, I'll never see this. I'll never get this opportunity again 10 feet away. What if I just walk over and say, hey, Neil, so do you mind if I get a selfie? I'm sure he'd probably say no. And then I'd probably be like, no, do you want a selfie with me? I mean, I was just like, and Ed and I just kept looking at each other, and Ed was like, we should call Taylor because he's a huge fan. And I was like, yeah, he'll be really upset. And so, I mean, the whole time we were there, I don't even remember eating. I hope he didn't realize that we were just staring at him. I was really starstruck. It was probably one of the few times in my life that I've been really starstruck. 10 feet away from Neil Young, I could have just reached over and tapped him on the shoulder.
That's crazy.
And then, so after the whole event, we're like, man, we should tell somebody about this. And Ed goes, no, let's not. Let's just tell everybody that we had lunch with Neil Young, because that's exactly what happened.
So, there you go.
Yeah, I never really told anybody. We never called Taylor. I never called any of my friends. I never told anybody. Yeah, man, you just won't believe it. So
yeah, lunch adjacent with Neil Young.
I mean, it was crazy. I mean, the guy's he's an icon. So wherever he goes.
Didn't Taylor at one point grow the same chops as Neil Young? I feel like I remember Chad with those fucking chops like Neil Young.
Maybe something. Yeah, close.
I only thought of that because Jimmy was like, Chad Taylor was a big fan. I'm like, wait, didn't he sometimes have those big fucking choppers on the side? But I'm sure Neil Young gets that all the time where he goes out and just everybody stares at him. He's so fucking iconic. So he probably is used to it if you guys were Googling at him. But I can't believe you or Ed, like if I was Ed, I would have been like, dude, just fucking, it's a cool just to be in like your presence, man, and kind of in the same field.
I mean, part of me wanted to, but I'm sure he probably gets out a lot and he'll probably just get really annoyed at us, and like I'll have one of those security guards escort me out of the building as a security risk or something.
I'm gonna say that Neil Young would know who Ed Kowalczyk and Live is because he's such a big Pearl Jam fan that I feel like he would have been like, dude, like, yeah.
I know Billy Corgan knows who Ed is. One time I think the band was playing in Chicago, and after one of the shows, we I don't know, we ended up in some really weird, like a weird club. It was kind of super dark. There were, instead of tables, they had beds. So there were beds everywhere where tables were, and people would sit on the beds. And, I guess if you wanted to lean back or whatever, you could. And there's white curtains everywhere and just crazy shit. I don't know how.
Is this a brothel, sir?
No, I don't know. It could have been, but no, it wasn't. But it's just one of those, like, I don't know. I guess they thought it was really cool back in the day. Let's have a club like this, and we were in there, and I remember Billy Corgan was there, and him and Ed were talking a little bit, and
how cool.
He seemed like a really nice guy.
He seemed real, like,
I would have liked to challenge him to a Rush trivia contest. Billy Corgan.
There you go.
But he was there, and he was super nice to Ed. He seemed like a really nice guy, and I think at the end he just kind of like tipped his hat to Ed.
Hell yeah,
ball guys.
Right. Yeah. And they look nothing alike.
Yeah, I mean,
but for Billy Corgan to be hanging out with Ed, that's a cool. Did you get any pictures of that, Jimbo?
No, I think he was just at the show or something. I don't know how we ended up at the same place. It was Chicago. I mean, that's his hometown. So,
well, there's a mutual kind of acquaintance in there. That's a guy named Tommy Lipnick, who is, good friends with Billy Corgan, and we would hang out with Tommy when we go to Chicago. He was like Mr. Chicago at the time, back in the 90s and 2000s. So he knew everybody. Yeah. He knew all the celebrities that would go through town, all the rock stars, and he would connect them with Billy here, like, Anyway, so Tommy Lipnick probably was hanging around there somewhere.
Wasn't Billy Corgan banging Courtney Love at some point? And then Ed was there, and they were doing a threesome. Spread it, I've heard it.
Just kidding. Courtney Love was making her rounds around all the lead singers in Hollywood for a while.
Looking for somebody to write her music. You know this.
That's right, exactly.
I also met, speaking of famous people, and Ed, I also met Slash. Back in the day, Ed played a gig, just solo, it's called Peace on the Beach, and I think he was protesting the Iraq War or something. And Slash was there, and him and Ed, I remember it was Ed, Matt Gracey showed up, and then they set up, and then Slash showed up, and they played like Imagine. Nice. I do have photos of that somewhere.
We share a birthday. Slash and I were July 23rd, both of us.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Same year, different years, Chad.
Different years. I think he's maybe a year older than me.
Oh wow, dude! Then you look great for your age because he looks like he's got 1 foot in the grave.
Well, listen. Slash has partied a lot harder than I have.
A lot harder, yeah. But I would have pegged his ass about 10 years older than you for sure.
I don't know, Bobby. Look up Slash's age.
Yeah,
he's
Bobby,
10 years older.
Get on it, Bobby. You're in with the news.
Yeah,
sorry, I digress.
That's pretty cool meeting Slash and just seeing him play Imagine with Ed right there on the beach. I think I even uploaded a video clip of it. Well, way back in the day up to the Friends of Life website.
Did he bust out in a big guitar solo with a helicopter view?
It was pretty. It it was pretty fun gig.
Here we go.
Is 50?
So he's 58.
Oh, 65. Yeah, he's 6 years older than me.
Yeah, and he looks fucking 12 years older than you, man. I mean, that guy.
I don't know. He still looks good for 58. Come on, man.
Dude, if you get close to that face, man, he's got makeup.
Yeah, but that's a picture on stage when he's like fucking rocking out. That's a bad picture.
Don't you stick up for him like that. Look at this. Jesus.
So he's still in good shape. He looks. I say Slash looks great there.
Hell
he's
yeah!
Just in a weird pose. His face.
I'd phone him for sure.
I think he's got problems with his hands. Like really bad arthritis, where it's always like stuck in a really weird position. Doesn't like to shake hands, is what I heard.
That's what happened to Mick. Was it Mick Mars from Motley Crue? He has some disease that's like basically folding his spine over, like it fuses his vertebrae, and he's having a lot of health problems. But then they kind of just like kicked him out of the band and continued to tour. He's pissed.
Jeez, it's amazing how they could just do that nowadays.
Oh yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
On a topic, Ed, let me see if I can think of some stories for Ed. You know, Ed and I used to hang out a lot after shows and after gigs. I think of all the people, Ed would probably stay up the latest. He'd always be out late. So we would end up in places. Like one time we were playing like Alabama or something, and him and I we'd go to like a club or a bar, and he'd come in there and after the show, and like live fans in there is like, so he'd go to the jukebox. He'd actually put live on the jukebox.
Nice
for all the fans to listen to, and he'd buy drinks and stuff.
Hell yeah.
Whereas one time, I think it was a New Year's Eve, we went to some fan's house. After the show, I think Ed was just like, "Hey, is there any parties around?" And some fans just said, "Oh yeah, I'm throwing a huge party at my house. You want to go?" And he was just, "Yeah, sure, let's do it." And we would walk. We'd go to this random fan's house, and by the end of the night, like people were passed out on the couch.
Damn, dude.
We'd be playing pool. He'd be playing pool with people, and I mean, I don't know. It's just
that's almost famous.
Do these random things that you wouldn't think like people would do, but yeah, he'd go and like fans meet up with fans after the show, go to their houses.
That's so cool.
I always thought that was a really cool. I mean, I know Ed gets a lot of shit sometimes, but people, I have to say he's he's a good guy, because I remember way back in like around 2000 or something, I was in a long relationship with somebody, and we just broken up. And I was just, if anybody's in a really long relationship and get broken up or whatever, you're just kind of crushed for a while. You don't know what the hell you're doing, and your mind's all in all kinds of different places. And I remember one time I was at work right after this, and so I got a phone call, and Ed calls me, and I'm like, why the hell would he call me? Like, I haven't talked to him in a while because he's on tour. And I remember I stepped outside the building, and he would just call me and say, "Hey, listen, man, I heard you had a really bad breakup. I was calling to make sure you're okay. I was just checking up on you." And I'll always remember that. I was like, "Man, that's he's I think at that time he was either he was dating somebody, this girl Beth, and suddenly Tammy. I think he was going out with her for a while."
Oh, so wait, I felt like Ed was married since like day one. So Ed Kowalczyk was single and fucking ready to mingle for a while?
Oh, yes.
He was single. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Dating a girl.
He got married, I think, in 96 or 97, somewhere in there.
Right around the divorce broke out really big. And I knew he was dating her for a while, and he was just calling me and saying, "Hey, man, shit happens, you gotta hang there." So I always thought that was really, he does get a lot of shit sometimes, but I always remember the nice side of Ed, and he's done some really nice things. I remember when he's also into photography. At one time, I think Throwing Copper Tour or Secret Smiley Tour, he'd always be running around with his Nikon camera, and so him and I would talk photography. And I remember I was shooting some slides, and hey, can you when you develop those slides, come on by my place. I want to see what they look like. And when I visit him, I'd like I had a little handheld slide viewer, and it was just like him and I are like looking at all these live photos on this little tiny little screen, like 2 inch by 2 inch, and so that Christmas I get a package in the mail, a big box, and it's like from Ed. I'm like, oh, he sent me some shit for Christmas. What the hell could this be? And I opened it up, and he bought me a Kodak slide, like one of those Kodak slide machines where you put in all your 200 slides, and you gather around for Thanksgiving or whatever, and you do the slide shows. So he actually bought me a really nice slide thing, which was really nice of him. And he used to send me Christmas cards, and yeah, it was good times. Like,
yeah,
I think after a while he just kind of got tired of the whole Hollywood scene and moved to Ojai, I think, after that or something.
Well, because he's so not a fake person, and Hollywood is fake as fuck. So I'm sure it was like alluring at first.
Yeah.
And like, you guys suck. So
yeah, but this is crazy. I mean, during his time in Hollywood was kind of interesting too, because another live little tidbit was like,
hold on, bud. Wait, whoa. With that house you were talking about in Hollywood, was that this? Is that songs from Black Mountain? Is that house? Is
No.
the mountain behind?
No. That's when he was living in Ojai when that record was written.
Okay.
Yeah, when that and the thing about back in Hollywood, when he was living in Hollywood those few years, another live tidbit was Chris Shin also was he also was in Hollywood, and I mean Ed and Chris used to hang out like all the time, like every week or every other week they'd hook up. So they were really this is before the breakup, and then before Chris came to life as a singer. But yeah, I remember Chris and Ed, they used to hang out quite a bit, and even Chris, I mean, he used to Chris was in a whole bunch of different like musical projects.
Yeah.
So there was a place on Melrose, it's called the Gig on Melrose, and he'd always he'd always play shows there. So I remember I'd always go up there and like check out his little projects that he'd have, like every what is it? Move as a verb. Everything is energy. He had a whole bunch of stuff, and it was kind of cool too because he played. Sometimes he played with like Christopher Thorne and Brad Smith.
Hell yeah.
The guys from Blind Melon. Later than Unified Theory. So that whole time frame. Christopher Thorne was around a lot, and Brad Smith. Also, those guys had a lot of music projects too. One of my favorites is this one called Halo Complex, was a band that was a project that they played in. They used to play a lot in the Hollywood area all the time. So I'd go see them, and it was I think it was right before Unified Theory. So Unified Theory in '97 was the Secret Smarty tour. So they got to open up for live a whole bunch of shows.
No, they opened up for us in '99 with the Counting Crows Unified Theory.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not.
That was a good tour.
I remember that was my first time meeting all those guys like Christian and Brad Smith and Christopher Thorne and all this. Was on the Secret Smarty tour. They played specifically. I remember they played like the Gorge in Washington. The other great thing about like hanging around live over the years, I got to see so many really cool venues. One of my favorite venues is the Gorge in Washington. It's that, and like I really like Red Rocks.
Red Rocks.
Yeah. I don't know, Chad. You probably those are some pretty cool venues.
They're two of the most beautiful venues in the world, for sure.
Yeah, the Gorge. I mean, that is literally like a huge stage over like this huge gorge canyon. It's super beautiful. I actually have some video of one of these days when I unpack all my boxes and shit. I actually have videos from the '97 show with Unified Theory at the Gorge.
Yes.
That's really cool. Also, I think Chad, you went that canyon. I believe you went hiking down there or something. You found like some golf balls and some skeleton.
Yeah, I did hike down in there, but you can also like whack these eco-friendly golf balls off the side of the canyon.
Eco-friendly golf balls.
Yeah.
I have some photos of the guys like
eco-friendly golf balls. Get out of here. Golf balls are so small anyway.
Yeah, they're biodegradable.
That was good. Those were really good shows. That Secret Samadhi show at the Gorges, that's probably one of my favorites. That was, I think, maybe one of the very first times where Ed, during like White Discussion, in the middle of White Discussion, like he would disappear. He'd like go off the stage, and the rest of the band is going crazy playing White Discussion, and Ed would like throw on this feather boa.
Yes.
He's got a
shirt off.
purple feather boa, and he start running out full speed at the crowd, like all crazy eyed and like just going nuts during that song. So yeah, I have a lot of footage of that. One of these days I'll have to digitize them and
dude, you totally have to. That purple boa fucking shit was awesome, man. I remember because he was for like
started
a couple
doing that
off stage.
This guy's crazy.
Yeah, he just came running out, fucking eyes wide. That was dope.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That's definitely one of my favorite tours. I've been to so many shows, but I really like the old Secret Samadhi days. Those are really good shows.
So
bands
what coast were you living on at the time? Were you, because you seemed to be in Cali a lot?
I was in I'd always been in California. So
gotcha.
Southern Commie, California.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, I've seen a lot of good bands on it. Love Spit Love was one of my favorite bands. Love Spit Love was on, I think at the time they were on Maverick Records, which was the same label as Candlebox, which is of course Kevin Martin. Really, I got a chance to like really, also that tour was the first time I met Kevin Martin was on Secret Samadhi. So he went to see live at when they played Seattle. It was at the Moore Theater. And I remember he was backstage, like, oh shit, that's Kevin Martin from Candlebox. That's fucking great. Yeah, that was the first time I ever met him was back in '97. So
was he cool?
He was at the live show when they played Seattle.
Was he nice to you?
And being from that area.
Was he nice to you, Jimmy? Was he a cool guy?
Oh yeah, he's always Kevin's awesome. He's always
cool.
Super nice, and he'll he'll talk to you about anything. The guy is like really he's a very if anybody ever gets a chance to speak with him, man, he's a super cool guy. He'll talk about any topic. He seems really well versed. I first saw Kevin when he was with Candlebox in '94, actually. So in '94, so Madonna had her first record label was Maverick Records, and that was the very first band that they signed was Candlebox on Maverick Records. And so in '94, if you recall from my earlier conversations, Neil from Rush being a huge fan of music, he really wanted Candlebox to open up on the tour, so he got them to open up. He got Candlebox to open up for Rush on the '94 is Counterparts tour, and so that was my very first time seeing Candlebox. I saw them. I saw them 17 times on that tour.
Damn,
they were the opening band, but it was really cool to see though. I mean, I think the guitarist at the time he play like little things like Fly By Night by Rush and like get the crowd all crazy, and then Ed, and then Kevin would just be like, no, we're not doing that. But yeah, I saw that was my first exposure to Candlebox was in. They're freaking great, man. That first album is just, man, that first Candlebox album is classic,
dude. That
really good
album is killer, man.
But yeah, Kevin and Candlebox is really, yeah, I love those guys, and of course later, Kevin with the Gracious Few, was another amazing run. Just awesome front man.
Awesome front man.
Yeah. I think one time, on one of my anniversaries, I don't know if you know about this, Chad, but he's so cool that, Kevin, if you're listening, thanks, buddy. But anyways, he actually stopped the Candlebox show right in the middle of Candlebox show, and he wished my wife and I a happy anniversary.
Nice.
Like, what the hell?
Damn,
but he's just that kind of guy. He's like just a really cool guy. I miss Kevin. But yeah, the Gracious Few tours, man, that was pretty freaking amazing. What a great lineup. I mean,
yeah,
good
that's
lineup.
like a superstar musician lineup right there, like the fucking Traveling Wilburys or some shit.
I think the one time, the one Gracious Few show that I saw, actually, it was the Gracious Few live and Candlebox all in one show. It was at South by Southwest.
Shut the fuck up! No,
you never knew about this, John?
No,
I was just like, wow.
Cool.
I flew out for South by Southwest and went to see the show. I was like, wow, whenever am I going to see like live and Candlebox and the Gracious Few all in one stage?
Right.
It was crazy. I mean, I felt really bad for Sean, who's playing guitar, because everybody at least got a break, but Sean played all three. He played with all three bands.
Wow.
That's right.
So,
who sang for there, Jimmy?
What's that?
Who was singing for live at that show?
That was Christian.
Yeah, it was Christian.
Yeah.
So it was Chris and then Kevin. Also, I thought that was kind of strange because I think that was the first and last, if I recall, time that remember Live tried to play what is it? They played a Candlebox song. They played a Candlebox song. Far I think it was Far Behind, and then Kevin did a song with Live or something and played like Lightning Crashes with Candlebox or something like that, and I thought it was really weird.
I'm trying to remember what we did.
And then so I know that
you had to be tired as fuck
playing
in the Gracious Few and then playing in Live. I mean, do you remember how many songs you did in each? Because that seems like a big task on drums, dude.
Well, the Gracious Few was first, so we played, I don't know, I forget, maybe 7 or 8 songs, I'm not sure. And then Live played a little bit longer. So yeah, a little tiring, but got through it.
Hell yeah.
And I think after that show, everybody just kind of agreed, like, okay, let's just stick to our stuff.
Right. Yes. Yeah. But, the Gracious Few, we tried to do Far Behind a couple of times, and we tried to do like Bikini's Juice a couple of times, and then we decided, let's fuck it, we'll just play the original stuff.
Also, I think Gracious Few. I saw them at the Troubadour in LA, and you guys started doing a Depeche Mode cover of "It's No Good."
Yeah,
which I thought was awesome because not a lot of people know, but Depeche Mode is my guilty pleasure. I have seen Depeche Mode every single tour since '86 on their I think it was been Violator tour, I think. So yeah, I've seen.
What were you, fucking 4 years old in 1986?
Yeah, 1986. They had Violator, and I've seen them every single tour.
How old were you in '86?
In '86, I was 15 years old.
Oh my God, you look young, man.
That was crazy. I was like, actually, it was one of my very first shows. My mom, I was so young, my mom wouldn't let me go to any concerts. But 15, I was in college when I was 15 years. I was in college, and then when you're in college, I get to do what I want. So when I started with my first year in college, I was going to like U2. I was seeing Joshua Tree, the original Joshua Tree tour. I saw Depeche Mode whenever I saw Russ. I started going crazy. I was like, oh, man, I'm free. I can go to concerts. My mom would never let me go to concerts when I was that young. But well, when you're on your own in college, you're like, oh, well, shit, I'll just do it. But yeah, that was really cool to hear the Depeche Mode. Whose idea was that, Chad, to do that Depeche Mode cover?
I think maybe it was Kevin's.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I don't know exactly, but I'm thinking it was Kevin.
Yeah, that was super cool to see. I know one thing I was thinking about since the last podcast was so Chad, I think the very first time that Live got like super duper popular was when you guys went to Brazil, like way back in the day, your first trip to Brazil. I mean, you guys were playing like, festivals and stadiums and stuff. Do you recall that at all? Like, you were way more popular in Brazil than you were in the U.S. I mean, everybody in Brazil knew you guys.
Oh, Mental Jewelry went down there and we played a bunch of clubs and stuff. And then they put Pain Lazo in Riverside in a cigarette commercial down there. And it blew up. And so then we went back and played, what was it, Rock in Rio? But it was a gigantic festival in Rio. I don't think it was Rock in Rio.
It was in Sao Paulo, right? There was
one in Sao Paulo, one in Rio. We played 2 of them.
Yeah.
And and that was like we were playing Throwing Copper stuff before it came out.
And there was like 100,000 people there. It was not a small crowd, dude. It was
they were, and some of them were throwing Evian bottles full of urine at us. Great.
Yummy.
Awesome. And we went on right before Sepultura, so I don't know if you're familiar, but
yes,
it's like Brazil's version of like fucking death metal. They're an awesome band, but like they went on right after us, and so their fans were like, "Get these jackasses off the stage."
Yeah, hippie loving freaks.
Actually, I'm surprised, Chad, that you remember that was from a cigarette commercial. So I found that cigarette commercial. I don't know, John, if you want to have Bobby or hey Bobby, if you could pull up YouTube.
Jimmy,
there's like a 40-second clip. Or
I've never seen it. That's funny. This is awesome. I've never even seen this.
If you go to YouTube and you search in YouTube, Pain Lies on Riverside commercial. There's the cigarette company. They actually use that song in their commercial, and you can see a clip of it on there.
Okay,
I thought it was really. I think I heard it. I was like, I wonder how they got so popular in Brazil, and it was because of a cigarette commercial. Yep. Ironically enough, Chad. You don't even like cigarettes or smoke.
No,
from all the no smoking signs that I used to see you go around backstage, putting them everywhere you could, like no smoking, no smoking.
I don't like smoking.
Back here.
Good for you, Chad. Proactive.
We almost got into like a fist fight with Third Eye Blind because of that shit.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, Sacramento.
I'm gonna play that for you, Jimbo. I think I got it. Oh, wait a second. Hold on.
This is funny. I've never even seen this. Hollywood Cigarettes.
Yeah, I think that's it right there. Yep.
Yeah,
that's the one. That's the one
I got to share with sound. I forgot to do that. Ba-ba-bum.
Yeah, so they started playing that, and like pretty much everybody in Brazil knows that song. It's so crazy.
Here we go.
Mas antes de desligar, deixa eu te perguntar uma coisa.
Frozen.
Oh no.
Internet.
Let me see here, folks. I don't know. Is it me? Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
All right, let's see.
Mas antes de desligar, deixa eu te perguntar uma coisa.
Fala.
A full screen. I'm not sure what's going on here. I will bring it up again, but just give me a second. Bear with all the technical difficulties.
Yeah, I also had some cool footage of that first trip to Brazil. You guys in clubs and doing the samba and yeah.
Yeah, it was cool to go to Brazil. I loved it. It was fun. Like they'd take us around to like farmers markets and stuff on days off, like the record company, and you go to these friggin' markets and they had like just carcasses of animals hanging around, like flies all over and shit. You're like, this is a little different than America. And then they just give you raw sugar cane to chew on, like it was a treat. You just take a piece of raw sugar cane and just chew on it.
You sure that wasn't a cocoa leaf there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Let's see. Sound or no sound?
Nothing's happening right now.
You gotta hit the play button.
Oh, I'm playing on my end, dude. I'm totally fucked over here.
Oh.
All right. Well, next time, ladies and gentlemen.
This is a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah. Bobby had to take off, unfortunately. He was our main man for that, but he had to leave early today. And
God damn it, Bobby.
That's it.
I fucking need you.
Right. Damn it.
It's funny when you're talking about.
I digress there, Jimbo. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. It's funny when you're talking about major.
Do you know how the cigarette commercial came about? I guess this was management or
no idea.
I have no idea. I don't know. I think the record company did something down there, and I don't know who gave them permission. Maybe someone on our side did
for it or anything. That's fucking shady, man.
I'm sure we got paid somehow for it, but certainly worked.
Yeah. I mean, because I think the one, like, there's video from 1994, I believe, in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Ed's wearing, like, some fucking green flannel shirt. And he's got long-ass curly hair. And, like, it just goes behind, you know, the whole band, you guys playing. You look out at the crowd, and it's like a Woodstock fucking crowd.
Yeah, that was the show. Yeah, with the piss bottles.
I did not see that in the video, but
I got in the stomach of one. I remember it distinctly.
Damn, dude.
Came up over the set in the stomach while I was playing.
Did it have a cap on it?
Yes. Thank God.
Yeah, thank God is right, man. Well, are they stupid though? I mean, take the fucking cap off.
Dude, we went to Brazil one time, like sometime in the mid 2000s, and we played at this festival. We were the headliner, and it was in Belo Horizonte, this place we'd never been. And it was in a stadium, and we got to the stadium probably around 3 or 4 in the afternoon. We were supposed to go on I think at 9 or 10.
Oh wow.
And it was basically all Brazilian bands except for us. So every fucking band played like an hour over their set time.
Oh God.
So like at midnight, we're like, okay, we're fucking out of here. You know, we're not staying here any longer. So we told our tour manager, like, go tell these motherfuckers we're done. We're not staying here. And his name was Matt Murphy, and he comes back in and he's like ashen face looking at us, and we're just like, dude, what the fuck, are we leaving? And he's looking at us like, we can't leave. And we're like, what do you mean we can't fucking leave? He opens up the door, and there's 2 policemen standing there with automatic weapons. They're like, no, you're not leaving. We're like,
wow.
Oh, I guess we're playing. We went on at like 1:30 a.m. And we were like, who the fuck's gonna be here at 1:30 a.m.? Fucking packed. Totally, the whole crowd was there. But again, they threw piss bottles at us. Even though
oh my god, they brought it back. They brought it back. That's amazing.
But yeah, that was the latest we ever went on. But we were like, yeah, I guess we're staying for this show. We're not leaving. Thank you.
The latest you went on, and it was by gunpoint.
Yes, basically. Yeah.
Ay.
That's nuts. Let me see here. Also, let me see here if I can remember on the some other cool things on the Secret Society tour. I saw the band play in San Francisco at the Warfield Theater, and that was the first time I saw Jennifer Charles. She came on stage to sing. So Jennifer Charles, if you guys know, she sang on Ghost.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
So that was pretty cool. I think she came out and sang on a couple shows. So that was really cool. Because I was shocked. Her voice was awesome.
Was she a good-looking chick? Because she sounded hot as fuck.
I don't remember, but I do remember her sound.
She was a cute little petite brunette. Yeah, she was a cute girl.
Nice.
That was the same show. I think so. After the show, Taylor introduced me to this guy. That was the first time I've ever met Cesar Diaz. So Cesar Diaz, if you guys remember, his amp that says Diaz is on the back of. It's on the photo and the artwork for Secret Samadhi. You see the vacuum tube. But Cesar Diaz was the guy. He built a lot of amps. He worked with a lot of famous people too. Like he did Stevie Ray Vaughan. He worked with and Keith Richards, Neil Young. So,
yeah, Cesar was like the guru of guitar, like big guys like Stevie Ray Vaughan and Keith Richards. Like he was Keith Richards' guy forever and ever. Then he started making his own amps, which are, I think, even to this day sought after. And he unfortunately passed away quite a few years ago. But yeah, his amps are legendary. Chad loved them. I think he still does. Yeah, they're great sounding amps. But yeah, he would tell stories about Keith Richards that were fucking hilarious, dude. Oh my god, Cesar.
That guy's alive.
He had a great story. Like there was Keith Richards. There would literally be a death poll on every fucking every Rolling Stones tour.
Yeah.
And guess who would win the death poll every time? Because it was always on Keith Richards dying on tour, and he would always be in it.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Like, come on. So
I don't even know how he's alive, or him and Ozzy.
It's amazing. I mean, yeah.
Those two guys.
Point. I mean, him and Ozzy, that's crazy.
Dead.
For sure. Maybe that's the key, kids. Do drugs. Stay alive.
Yeah, do drugs, smoke cigarettes. Fucking.
Yeah, his autobiography is really good too. It's called Life.
Oh yeah.
He's got some crazy stories in there. Yeah, man, that's really nuts. So yeah, I met Cesar Diaz, which for me was like pretty cool because I mean of all the albums, one of my favorites is probably Secret Samadhi by maybe a hair. So just to meet like Cesar Diaz,
that's my favorite.
The guy responsible for some of that sound on that album was just like
for sure.
That was really cool.
That's dope.
I think also I don't remember on that, was it maybe that tour or maybe after Secret Samadhi. I remember one trip I was you guys were at Jerry Harrison's house, and I remember like driving there or something, and on the Highway 1 up in Big Sur area is the Henry Miller Museum of all things. And I remember I stopped at the Henry Miller Museum, and of course Ed, being a huge fan of Henry Miller, in his back pocket, you little fucker.
That's right.
So yeah, but I think I got some stuff from the Henry Miller Museum. That was really nice. I think I'm pretty sure it was Jerry Harrison's house. You guys did some recording there, right?
We recorded in north of Sausalito, and Jerry lives in Mill Valley, and so Mill Valley's right there. So yeah, we went to Jerry's house a bunch of times during that. We recorded at a studio up there near Skywalker Ranch. It was like right across the road from Skywalker Ranch. But the studio was great. That was the first time. Did you come up and set up a computer so we could like communicate with people online?
I might have. I don't remember.
And that was the first time like we started like you get fucking haters. Yeah, even back then, this was like '98, and you had trolls online. Fucking.
Oh yeah.
I would start getting into it with them. Like,
nice.
Why are you here? Why are you here to fucking start shit?
Right.
And during that record, I went and watched Saving Private Ryan in the theater. The record.
Or the sequel, Saving Ryan's Privates, which is my favorite version.
There you
go.
Sorry.
Yeah, the trolls are my favorite. I have a lot of history with a lot of history with trolls and fans in general. I mean,
Yes.
for the most part, though, I gotta say, like, the live fans they're really cool. But
they
as
all
with
absolutely, yeah.
for sure.
as
You're
with
like,
every group, there's few people in there. It's like,
you're
you know
like
what?
Live's fucking teddy bear over there, Jimmy. You could do no wrong in the fans of Live community. That's for sure.
Oh, that's all right. I got really thick skin, so I
Well,
probably know some of those people in there. So
I was gonna say, but just as far as reception goes, there was not a bad word I heard about last week's episode. Everybody was all hail Jimmy. So
oh wow, thanks, people. I mean, I try to be nice to the fans because at the end of the day, you know, even all the guys in the band, they're always gracious to the fans because, you know, obviously that's where the bread and money is. But me, I had a little bit of a leeway because I wasn't in the band. So if they're gonna be an ass to me, then well, I'll just be an ass back.
sure.
I used to have I think I chilled out a lot over the years though. So apologies to anybody in the past that I have offended.
Yeah, and fuck
Jim
you.
Coaches, sorry, Jim. It was a while ago, but sorry for being an asshole. Uh, but yeah, there's a lot of history with me and the fans. In general, though, like I said, I always tried to be like super nice to the fans because, and when I ran when I helped to run the mailing list, and because I was running the mailing list and the message boards, I got to know like a shitload of fans, and
I'm sure.
I got rides with many of them from show to show. Some of them let me stay at their places. Thanks,
Wow.
guys. Saved me a buck here and there. But yeah, and in return, I mean, because I got to see a lot of the fan interactions, like I would know after a while, like, oh, this person's a huge fan, or this, and you know, I would try to give back, I guess, in a way. So I would like, you know, I'd ask if I can put them on the guest list,
Nice.
and that was one way that I could give back. I mean, not probably not a lot of people know this. Chad, probably you don't even know this, but you know, so when they did the guest list for the shows, you know, the official fan club, Homespun and Friends of Life, they would get like maybe like 2 or 3, you know, maybe 4 at the most or something. So a lot of times, they would give out passes, but they were only allowed like certain amount of passes. So I would always be working with Michelle, and Michelle would always ask me, "Hey, Jimmy, you know, for this particular show, do you think there's any way?" So between Michelle and I mean, she would turn in her list, but then after that, I would turn in my list, which would have extra names that she would give me. And the band and the management were always so nice to me. I don't think they've ever said no to me on any guest list. So I would supplement her guest list by, I mean, that was the way I viewed it was, you know, in the long run, it's all about the fans and like, you know, trying to help out fans meet. I mean, I can imagine me if I was like a Rush fan or something and someone, hey, you want to meet Neil? I'd be like, freaking awesome, of course. So I would always try to do really nice things to fans. I'd hook them up on guest list. I'd help Michelle out with the fan club. Sometimes I would walk the crowd, and I remember I would have like tickets. There's some shows like I remember in Phoenix, I would go up into the balcony, and I would see huge fans in the balcony, and I would upgrade them to like the front row or something. So I'd do shit like that. A lot of times I was a photographer, so I was in the pit, and in those clubs where you're just so packed, man, and it's really hot in some of those clubs. And I would have like bottles of water, and I'd always run them to people in the middle of the crowd. I'd give them bottles of water. So
Jimmy, I mean, if I kind of had that little position of power right there, I probably wouldn't be getting sexual favors for some of that. Did you get any loving for that?
No, dude, I'm not.
John, you're the pervert.
That's not my. I would never use a bait for that. But I mean,
I've never done that.
For me, it was more about
Harvey
trying to be nice to the fans.
Is my hero. I mean,
I'll say this, that one time, I know I can probably say this because Chad was single at the time, but I remember one show in particular in Atlanta. He was drumming, and I think during the middle of the show, I was on one of the side of the stage, and Sean Williams, their tech, he was on the other side of the stage, and Sean kept saying, "Hey, come over here," and I got my way to the crowd, and I go, "What's up?" And he's like, "Hey, Chad wants you to run these passes down to these 2 blondes in the middle of a crowd." I was like, "What?" I was like,
"It's happened."
You mean like now? It's like, "Yeah, man, he's drumming right now. I can't do it because I'm working." And well, here's 2 passes. I'll point them out to you. Now, right over there, if you just look. So I'd run down and I'd give him passes.
Rock star shit.
Gotta figure out some way to meet these girls.
Chad, you never fucking gave me passes when I was out in the crowd.
Oh, you're not a girl.
I kind of look like one when I shave, so.
Yeah, we had fun on that. There was a little window between my first marriage and meeting my second ex now.
Yeah.
Where I was
having fun.
I was enjoying my rock stardom, put it that way. So it was nice. It was fun.
Yeah, I mean, if you were experiencing that, I was wondering how you settled down that second time, but that's for a later show when we don't have Jimmy on.
Yeah.
But
get the love bite, happens.
Yeah.
I tell you though, like the fan stuff is kind of interesting. I mean, even as years go by, like I remember like even the management or even the guys and say, hey, do you know this person? Hey, do you know this fan? What are they like? So I'll be like, yeah, okay, that guy's really cool. He's a huge fan. He's cool. That one talks shit about you. Or, just after a while, I get to know a lot of fans. Of course, just going to so many shows and pretty cool. But the best fan base is, Australia is always like a huge place for the band to play. Also, Netherlands is a really huge.
Yeah.
Netherlands was really cool. That was the first time I ever had a shawarma, and I remember my first trip there, and I think Chad, you were saying to me like, hey, we're staying at this hotel over here by the river. There's this awesome shawarma place, and I was like, what is a shawarma? And he's like,
we would always stay at the
Grand. Like, well, what is it? I can't describe it. You got to try it.
Yeah, we always stay at the Grand Hotel. It's like shawarma is like, it's like street food, but it's like a pita with some chopped up meat and hot sauce and stuff. That was really good. Yeah.
That was always good. Like all those trips to the Netherlands were really good. One time in the Netherlands, I was walking by the river and I hear my name, Jimmy. I was like, okay, there's no way in hell anybody knows me and they would know me in Netherlands, Amsterdam, or as I call it, Amsterdamage, of all places. And I look over and it's Matt, Gracey, and Patrick, and they're in a little shop.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Coffee shop. Yes.
I gotta tell you, that was also my first time. Mom, I hope you're not listening to this. I had some brownies. Okay. So someone persuaded me to try the brownie. So I had a brownie.
They twisted your arm.
I just tried this one brownie. Look at her.
Right.
And I waited about 20 minutes. I'm like, man, this shit is not working. No, this isn't doing anything to me at all.
That's
I went and got a second
mistake right there.
Yes.
I went and got a second brownie because I figured we didn't have enough. So I got a second brownie. You gotta remember, this is my very first time doing brownies.
Wow.
Thanks, live. And then I was like, so I forget to realize that it takes a while for your body to, start processing that and absorb it.
Mm-hmm.
And wow, I remember people telling me, well, maybe it was Patrick or something. I was like, the best stuff. How do you know when it's the best stuff? Because you're paranoid. I remember sitting there right when the brownies kicked in, after I had two already, and I swear I thought the walls like were closing in on me, but weren't really. And then I would look at the clock on the wall, and I'd be like, maybe 20 minutes. I'd look at the clock again, but then why is the clock went backwards? It was 1 o'clock, but now I swear it is noon. Something happening. And who are these people that just got in? They're probably after me. And that was Amsterdam is just a lot of really good shows, a lot of fun times there.
I'm jealous.
The filming of the DVD was done there.
Yeah,
the cool thing about the Netherlands is they had a really, really well run fan club called Subculture Live.
And that was them.
Yeah, Subculture Live.
Right.
And, they're really, really good, really, really good people. I mean, and they would always bug me for photos. If any of their fanzine, probably like 80% of the photos were my photos. But I was always hooked them up with photos, and every time the band would play Netherlands, I would I'd ask them for names of like really big fans that they would want hooked up, and then I would pass those names on to the guest list, and then those guys got backstage passes, and they held a big party. I think when they had the DVD release party, they had a huge party, and the whole fan club and a whole bunch of fans showed up. One of the parties, I took one of the DVDs that I had with me of the '98 Chameleon show that had like New City on it, because one of the guys in the subculture live guys are like, hey, can you bring something that we can show on the screen that nobody has seen? So I actually bought in '98 when they played the 3 shows at the Chameleon Club before the release of Distance to Here. I bought one of the DVDs from one of those shows, and they played it on a big screen. And I mean, everyone was so busy like meeting the guys, and the people that were paying attention would have heard a lot of new stuff like New City and Don't Wait. There's a song on there called Don't Wait, which I really liked.
Yo, Jimmy, where is that? Do you have that still?
Oh yeah, I have all that stuff.
That is a must fucking release. You got to find that and get that out, dude, please.
Oh, I will. The crazy thing about those 3 shows, because it was before Distance to Here came out, there was a lot of things in those songs themselves were different, like Facing Ghosts. Ed did a lot of the he added new verses and new lyrics to it. So a lot of those songs that they played, they were kind of like early versions of songs that eventually made it to Distance to Here. And then of course some songs didn't make it, like Don't Wait, for example, New City. But yeah, those 3 shows were really cool, and I taped all 3 of those, all 3 nights. And so I got like to see different versions of the songs before they even made it to the record. The other cool thing about those shows were Christopher Thorne was on stage and he played steel guitar, but also they had Jerry Harrison there. So Jerry Harrison was he was playing keyboards. So yeah, on the Chameleon Club was like, this big party, Jerry Harrison's there and Chris Thorne's there, and like all these crazy songs that live fans hadn't heard. Some eventually made it to the record. But maybe a little bit different version. And then some never made it to the records. Yeah. So those 3 shows are really they're really cool.
Yeah, they're legendary. They're in the books as some of the fucking, like I said, I got to see their Stone Pony concert in '98, and it was the same thing where they played 4 songs that I knew, the rest were all new, and it was either Going to the Distance or Didn't Make It to It, Overcome being one of those songs. And it was just, they were phenomenal, every song. Change, I think, is one of my favorite. That one's awesome. They need to be released.
Yeah, just those early shows before Distance to Here, and I think that time period, probably my favorite. Like between Secret Samadhi, Distance to Here, there's so much cool stuff. They used to open up with Where Fishes Go instead of Dam Otter Creek, which I think is an awesome opener.
What's your favorite live album, by the way?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I like Secret Samadhi for some reason. I don't know.
Wow, nice.
Dark, a little bit dark. Drumming is awesome on there. The music on there is great. It's very gritty.
That's probably my favorite too.
It's very rock and roll. I mean, once you start introducing keyboard players and keyboards, then I don't know if it's a rock and roll band anymore. Sorry. But I mean, Distance to Here, you saw a lot of Raylo was on there and stuff.
Dude, do not rip on the.
I'm more of a rock and roll, like just straight 4-piece rock band. So for me,
me too, Jimmy. Me too.
Yeah, that whole period was like great. The Where Fishes Go is an opener. I still think, man, that's an awesome opener. Almost some shows that I saw were I think that's an even better opener than Damn Otter Creek. So what happened was the band would come on stage and they'd play really hard, and all of a sudden, but there'd be no Ed. About a minute later, then Ed would enter the stage in the middle of Where Fishes Go, but he'd be dressed up as a pimp or something. He had like this huge cane, and he'd walk across the stage with this cane, looking like a pimp. I mean, the whole visual, I was like, what in the hell? And then they just broke right in the Where Fishes Go. I was like, oh my God, this is so awesome.
Yeah, it was a cool, like, creative, experimental time for the band. Those were fucking great years, man.
Jimmy, man, that was a lot of really good shows. A lot of really good shows.
Here, Timbo. We always like to leave them more, but if you got one more story for us, we could sneak it in.
Let me tell Raylo's story, because Raylo's probably one of Chad's favorite people ever.
Oh my God. Good old Raylo.
Oh no, actually, I have to say, I'll preface the story by saying,
from my understanding, Raylo's an amazing musician. He's an amazing musician.
Yeah.
He just has some substance abuse problems, but I think he's better now.
Yeah. I think, and that's why I don't feel so bad. Yeah. I know he's from my understanding, he's chilled out quite a bit actually. So
good for him. That's good to hear.
But I remember that because, man, sometimes Raylo would play like he'd play like Imagine in a wrong key. And now some people can't see it because Ed won't face the stage. But when Ed turned it around, when he played, and I could see it because I'm on the side of the stage, and he would just have like these eyes like, I will kill you. Like oh man, it's like, how can this guy play Imagine in the wrong key of all stuff?
Right.
And it's because he was drunk a lot of times. And to the point where
Not just
there were
drunk, but
shows
yeah.
where I would show up and I'd be roaming around and I'd go into the dressing room. And Matt Gracey would be in the dressing room. He's like, help me, man, help me. Like, help you do what? It's like, we gotta hide all this shit. Okay, what are we hiding? We gotta hide all these bottles of alcohol. I need them all out of here. I need them all out. So yeah, we just tried to clear the dressing room of alcohol before the band would arrive, because once the band arrived, the first thing Raylo would be looking for would be a bottle. Like, dude, it's a little bit early to start drinking. You haven't even played a note yet. So yeah, there were some pretty dark shows where I was like, oh my God,
Jimmy, that's funny you mentioned that, because there's times where I'm listening to Raylo, I'm like, that, and I'm not much of a musician, but I'm like, that doesn't sound right. But now I know that sometimes it wasn't right. He was a little fucked up.
A little, yeah.
ton of instances. Like, that wasn't even like, there's a lot of shows like that for Raylo. A lot of shows like that.
Good for him, man. If you're fucking,
but I think he's better now. So good.
Do it. I would have been the fifth member of Live that was the worst substance abuser there would have been. So Raylo's got nothing on me.
I don't know about that. Raylo's bad. He's a Liverpool cat, so he's Liverpool, England. So he's a scouser, as he would call himself.
Well, I want to thank the one and only Jimmy Lang, our first guest to have a two-parter, man. Thank you for coming on, buddy.
And no worries.
You got anything you want to tell the audience?
No. Well, thanks for listening to my stories. I'll try to remember to come up with some more cool stories. Maybe
we'll do a 3 or 4.
Down the line, we can do another one.
Oh yeah.
If you ever start a project, I would just tell people, make sure you finish it. As you can see, I haven't. I got some work to do.
Yes.
I haven't quite finished it. But thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on, dude.
Thank you, Jimmy. Appreciate it, bud.
I'll talk to you later.
Have you again in the future. Take care, dude.
Ciao.
The one and only Jimmy Lang, man. Back at him. Thank you, sir. Chad, that was a walk down memory lane there, bro.
Absolutely. That's why I love having him on, but live fans in general. I want to hear their stories, how they discovered the band, coming to shows, interacting with us, whatever, and they can ask me questions, and I can give them the real answers if they want that, and
Well, real briefly, because I know we're running over here, but so in between wife number 1 and wife number 2, when you're having all this rock star fun, what makes you get married to the second girl? I mean, she was gorgeous, so I'm guessing that had a lot to do with it, but like, I feel like you could have just been, racking up.
Well, there was a time where we started dating, and then I broke up with her because I was like, I want to continue to be single.
Yeah.
And then I just realized that that probably wasn't the right move. So I got 3 beautiful children out of it. And,
there you go.
But it was mostly a good ride.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. That's how you got to look at it. You got 3 beautiful children out of it. And then now you get to go back and having some fun. You took a break for a little bit,
Yeah, I'm no longer looking for a wife or a mother for my children. So
right.
let's have fun.
It's a freeing place to be, isn't it? When you don't need to have a mother, you don't need to have a wife. It's a nice freeing place.
Yes.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this was show 10, and we'll be back again next week, just like we are. We got guests booked up for I think until the middle of December. And then some people I just haven't got back to yet because, you guys are a little crazy with direct messages and stuff. But we will get to all of you. Thank you guys for listening. Please like, share, and follow The Gracious 2. I don't know if you guys saw that we started a new Rumble page, but God forbid Facebook or YouTube ever fucks with us, because they're already throwing violations at us for cursing, believe it or not, profanity. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, come on, man.
At one point, we might be exclusively on Rumble, which is cool because I think it's a cool service. And with the little audience we have, I'm sure they would follow us over there and we could build it from there. So that might be a plan going down the road, people. Chad, anything you want to say to these guys, these folks?
Thanks as always for joining, and we'll see you next week.
Peace, people.
Up.
We are the Gracious Two, putting the shit in bullshit.